Welcome to the Regal 30 podcast. It is me, your host, King Nappy. We in here. Alright. So, phone's going off. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the Regal 30 podcast. I'm your host, King Nappy. I got me some ginger chai tea from, what company is this? Stout? Holding it upside down. Is it Stash? I picked this up earlier. I picked up like 4 of them joints. It was like $3, like $3.30. So I got like 4 of them. I got the ginger peach, raspberry or pomegranate hibiscus. That was pretty good. And I picked up ginger peach, the green chai, the hibiscus, and pomegranate raspberry. And I can't wait to try them, man. I'm interested. I was figured I'd kind of ease up on the coffee a little bit, because I felt like I was drinking coffee like every day, every night. I hope everybody's doing well today. Thank you guys for coming by and checking out the video, tuning in. Tonight, I want to talk about, as you can see, I got my little gaming headphones on. I usually wear these whenever I'm playing some Destiny 2 or maybe some Grand Theft. I'm doing some online play, or what else I play? I wear these when I'm playing Fallout, something like that. But I mainly wear these when I'm gaming or when I'm making instrumentals. Speaking of instrumentals, how'd you guys enjoy the instrumental coming in on the intro? That was made by yours truly, King Nappy. Check me out on SoundCloud at King Nappy. Only got like 1 beat on there so far, so I gotta get back in there and make some more projects. But man, I've always loved making beats, and I will always lose my software. I will lose the software, then I will always lose the beats, the instrumentals. And my brother Brandon would always tell me, like, dude, save your stuff, get it copywritten. You need to get your stuff copywritten and save it so that you can, make something of it. And I just never did. Never ever did. So I got it back this time. I think I'm gonna actually do it right. Do it the right way this time. Back in the day, I used to have like so many like endless projects and things like that. I used to have so many like things that I would start and wouldn't finish. A lot of projects that I would get into and I just wouldn't complete. My brain would just be like, "Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that." And it's still that way, but I'm getting in a habit of finishing things more often than just starting them and letting them, fall by the wayside. But yeah, super stoked about that. I've been cleaning up the credit lately too. I went to one of the sites and I was kind of submitting some disputes, been kind of getting that credit together. I may talk about that in another episode. The importance of credit. Maybe find a few credit experts and see if I can speak with them and kind of pick their brains about some possible free information. That stuff is important, man. And I don't think sometimes we realize how important. A lot of us just live in a moment and we really don't think about the future. So me and my wife, we've been planning on having children, planning on buying a home, and these are things that's gonna definitely come up and be of importance. Tonight I wanted to talk about one of my favorite games. It is the Grand Theft Auto series. I remember GTA. I came in on GTA uh, at, at the era where it hit GTA 3. I never played the top-down 2D view game. I never touched those. I really wasn't really interested in that. It was pretty much, from what I hear, the same MO. You go around and you're stealing cars, running missions. You get points and scores and all that. I think that's what it looked like from the from doing missions and things like that. I just really wasn't that interested. I think the first one was based in London, and I think the Rockstar actual headquarters is based in the UK. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments. It was. I remember when GTA 3 came out. It was based in Liberty City. I don't even know what date that was. That was everything to me. It was. I was excited about that game. I never even tried that particular franchise before. I never played any of the GTA's. I was so excited for that. Just seeing the possibilities of what it was going to bring to the table, and it opened up a lot of doors for free roam, sandbox, open world gaming. You know what I mean? That and there were games I believe that were out there that had that already, but it was just the way that GTA brought it it was just fresh. It was a fresh feeling to it. Just seeing the previews, and you could, get in car. You can actually see your character. You can see them get in the car and get out the car. You can have a variety of weapons to choose from a baseball bat to brass knuckles to rocket launchers to AKs, M16s, Mac 10s, Uzis. You had your Glock. You had just nice little variety of weapons, kind of basic, but the game was just interesting. It had this nice little flair to it. I want to say it was based in the late 80s, early 90s. That was the kind of feel it sort of had. Um, yeah, I want to say late 80s, early 90s, or either mid 90s at the latest. But yeah, it was just, man, I was hooked. What made it worse is they began to branch out and start hitting up major cities. So they hit up Liberty City first, then they did Vice City, and then they did San Andreas, which is where we're at now with 5. Vice City was fun. I don't think it was as memorable as it was playing 3. Vice City was fun though. Um, I think you played Tommy Vercetti, based in Florida, Miami. It was fun. I think I might play that one again just to kind of catch the vibe. It's weird how you can play those games and you spend so much time, so much countless hours playing them and really digging into them and enjoying them, and then you play them years later, and some games still have the same charm, and some of them just be like, what was I thinking? You just get so used to the mechanics that they have available nowadays. It's so easy to get spoiled and kind of forget, like, man, this is where we came from. The GTA 3, I loved it. Vice City was pretty cool. I enjoyed it as well. It definitely wasn't something that I didn't enjoy. I think the original charm of 3, which I'm saying original, but that was when I originally came into the franchise and was introduced to it. Then they came out with 4. Grand Theft Auto 4. No. They came out with San Andreas. And San Andreas was pivotal. Pivotal. It's still a straight up classic to this day. I still see people playing it to this day. San Andreas was pivotal, allowing you to do the same thing, free roam. It had a wider variety of guns, much more of a colorful city, really bright and vibrant. You on the West Coast now. You dealing with gangs and different sets and things like that, from the Ballers to Grove Street. You playing as Carl Johnson, who's a part of Grove Street or whatever. I think he went to jail or something like that. I don't know if he was in jail in New York or something like that, but coming back from Liberty City and coming back home, I think his mom had died, brother had got into some trouble. It was just all kind of things happening back at home, and it was just an excellent game. They had a lot of things that I liked in San Andreas that they didn't have in 5, which I wish they did. One of the things that I loved about San Andreas was recruiting gang members, and just have somebody to come with you and just roll with you on a mission or something like that. You was able to recruit NPCs, and they didn't have that in 5. Of course you got online, so you can just call up one of your friends or something like that and have them join you. But it was, I don't know. That's a whole nother topic, talking about GTA 5. As beautiful and stupid as that game is, San Andreas had so many things that it did right that I thought was pretty cool. I like the fact that you can gain and lose weight on the game. I like the fact that you can actually develop fighting skills. It was advanced for it to be on PlayStation 2. It was a PlayStation 2 game, right? 2? I want to say it was PlayStation 2. I don't think it was PlayStation 3 yet. Yeah, that should have been 2. Yeah, that was 2. PlayStation 2 game. And that was pretty advanced, man. Allowing you to, it was open world, allowing you to gain and lose weight by eating food and eating certain foods. You were able to go to the gym and actually bulk up or get lean by doing certain exercises. You build stamina from running and stuff like that, which they have on this one as well. Recruiting NPCs, gang members, and able to roll with you and help you out on missions. It was pretty advanced for its time. The only thing that I didn't really like is of course, stealing cars was second nature on the game. That was just how you got around. So owning cars was really hard, but you could customize cars, and I just didn't like how the system worked with that, because you could go spend all this money customizing a car, put it in your garage, and if you drove it and something happened, and something always happened, you could potentially lose it, which was super realistic, but super inconvenient though. The traffic on that was just crazy. The NPCs used to actually keep some guns on them. You couldn't just go up to anybody and start something. One thing I also liked was the women on there. The women weren't cheesy and fearful. If you hit a woman on there, she was to hit you back. You pull a gun on a woman, the wrong one, she'll pull out some iron right back at you. The women on there were much more Brody, and I like that too. On 5, they just made every girl just real cowardly and just kind of, they never ever fight you back, ever. And I hated that. I don't know, it was just that was kind of lame how they did that. But yeah, San Andreas was pivotal. GTA 4. What year did that come out? Grand Theft Auto 4. I want to say that came out 08 or something like that. Let me look it up. Grand Theft Auto release dates. I know GTA 5 came out in 2013. And Grand Theft is notorious for spacing their games apart. Let's see. 2008. Yep, I was right. This was released in 2008. 5 years later, they released 5. GTA 4 was boring. I think what really got people on the train for GTA 4 was the ragdoll physics. They had really good physics. I really liked the car weight system and how the cars felt, how shooting the guns felt, how people reacting to actual things were weighted. Like there was actual system of weight and mass, and I like that. Uh, Everything on GTA 5 just feels real light and real flimsy, if that's a good word to say. I get a good word to use, but it seemed like it's super easy to flip a car over if you drive the wrong way on GTA. Why do I still have these on? Why are those on my head? You can flip a car over so easy on GTA 5. It takes pretty much no effort. There is there was a better weight system to GTA 4 to me than 5. I like the physics. A lot of people didn't really like the how the cars drove. You know, you turn and the car was sort of lean. But a lot of the cars on that game were like the older models. They had a lot of older model cars. So a lot of them, when you turn that way, you will the car will lean that way. And that's how it does in real life. Most cars are going to kind of give you a little bit of a lean depending on how hard you're turning. You know, the car, it weighs a lot. So the way the turns look, it was accordingly. You know, you turn a car in real life that way, that's how it's going to turn. If you like drove your car slightly into, you know, some people or into a path, you know, a pedestrian, they would put their hands like on the hood of the car, you know, kind of reacting to it, and they would bag up. They would it was something else they used to do that was pretty cool. I think if you got arrested, they actually used to arrest you and put you in the car, or they used to do passengers that way. I mean, not passengers, but pedestrians. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, Ambulance, when they came out, they didn't just come out and stare at a dead body and then walk away. Like every time in GTA 5 an ambulance show up, they literally do nothing. They don't do anything. They come up, they show up, they'll like kind of feel around the body, and the body disappears. They shake their heads and they get back, and they do that every time. One thing I liked on GTA 4 as well was the pedestrians' health. People didn't die so easily. You really had to work in order to kill somebody unless you shot them, like just headshot or something like that, or shot them multiple times. You really had to work in order to get a kill on GTA 4. I remember I was fighting somebody and I was using like a little fist match and was fighting or whatever. Beat them down, but they were still alive. Like they just kept kind of like turning over this way or they'll turn over that way, and I was stomping them out for like so long, for minutes, and they would just not die. They would not die. They would just kind of turn this side, then they'll turn to this side. But people just, it took them much longer to die. And then when the ambulance did show up, they would heal them, they'd get up and they'd walk away. It was cool seeing those like little small things. With the helicopters, they didn't blow up so easy how they do on 5, which is a bit more realistic. You know, if you fly a helicopter into any, you know, structure, it's a good chance that it will explode. But at least on 4, the propellers would go out, and then the helicopter would just fall, and you at least have a chance to live afterwards. On 5, that's it. You hit a bird, explosion. You fly into a stack of napkins, explosion. You know, hit the wind too hard. Let you fly into some wind the wrong way, explosion. So 5, you know, that to me they did that a bit better as well. I think they actually showed him picking up his phone and holding his phone in his hand and kind of going through the options and putting it up to his ear. Of course, with GTA 5, it's online. Now they're excuse me. Now they're the story mode. Everybody is very interactive and everybody has their own phone. Uh, but the online on GTA 5, they never use their phone. They never hold their phone. I always thought that was kind of irritating. But I guess since the character doesn't have a voice, they never speak. Uh, that accounts for that reason. But yeah, those are the few pros and I guess cons that I have for four. Five was nearly flawless. Like nearly flawless. It is such a huge, well-rounded, in-depth game, and storyline is excellent, but the online multiplayer has been just vast, to say the least. Constantly growing and constantly changing. This game has been out since 2013. It is 2020. And there are people still playing relevantly Grand Theft Auto 5 and anticipating Grand Theft Auto 6. And I wanted to share some of my thought process on Grand Theft Auto 6 or the potential of it. With GTA 5 and how it did online and how it has so many features and things like that, so many add-ons, so many DLCs. My honest thought process is, where do we even go with 6? What do we do to make it stand out? If not just as much, even more than 5. What do you do besides go to space? And even then, GTA 5 had did so much and covered so much ground. When it first came out, it was the story mode online, and you ran missions and and then we were waiting on heist. You just did missions at first. I remember there was a mission on GTA 5 called Coveted. I don't even know if anybody remembers that mission. That was a mission called Coveted, and you would drive to, I want to say, close to the windmill farms, if I'm not mistaken. But I know it was in the countryside. There was going to be like a little meeting. That'll be like 2 black Suburbans like on the side of a hill, and it was a few guys standing down there. You had to kill those guys, take some suitcase or something like that. Then there would be this helicopter that was going to come in, if I'm not mistaken, and they were going to try to apprehend you or shoot you or whatever. If I'm not mixing it up, either the helicopter was already there or it was getting ready to come there, and you had to go down and kill those guys. It was not a helicopter. It was a cargo bomb? It was a cargo bomb. You take it, and it's like literally like down the street. You would drop it off down the street, and that was the mission. $30,000 for that mission. And guys would just run that over and over. They used to make a playlist and just have that in the playlist. That way they can quickly go from mission to mission. And they would just run that all day. 20 grand, 30 grand, 30 grand. I remember that used to be GTA 5. And then they started adding heists. So now that's all GTA 5 was at that point, was about the heist. People were running Pacific Standard over and over and over. I don't think I ever even passed Pacific Standard. Everybody who I played with, they were just so wacky and crazy and goofy that they never could like just work together right and get it done. I completed, of course, the Fleeca job. The Fleeca job. I think I completed the Prison Break. The Science Lab missions or something like that. I think that's what it's called. Some kind of lab missions. I think I completed that, and that was it. And it was growing, and that was just the heist. Then they started getting into DLCs and the Criminal Enterprise. and you can get an apartment and you can run heists from your apartment and things like that and set up heists yourself. Then they started setting up the smuggler run DLC. Then they set up the drug running DLC. Now you're able to sell things from meth to pharmaceuticals to forgery items. You were able to sell, cocaine. You were able to sell meth and, stolen goods. You were able to do illegal goods out of warehouses back in the city and store the illegal goods into, these little warehouses and then just make runs, once you got enough stock built up. You were able to do counterfeit cash, counterfeit money and things like that, forgery items. You were able to do, it was just so much. Then they released the nightclub DLC, which was huge. Now you were able to run a nightclub and you were able to run all those services, all those goods and illegal operations out of the nightclubs. So that was huge. Then they came out with what was it? I know they came out with the casino DLC, but I want to say it was something else before. I know they came out with stunt races, the smuggling. They came out with the smuggling DLC. I never played that. I never even cared for it. They came out with how you can have like gun bunkers and weapon bunkers. You can have what else? What else were you able to have? Or you can own like airplane hangars. I think that was a part of the smuggling DLC as well. What else could you do? Like I said, then they came out with the casino. The casino was pretty dope. I really enjoyed that DLC. Just being able to go into a actual full casino and kind of just really get in and enjoy the experience and going up to the cage and getting some chips and going to either a roulette table or going to play some blackjack, which is one of my favorites to do, is the blackjack. Whether you want to do low limits, high limits, you want to bet on ponies, if you wanted to play some 3-card poker, if you wanted to play slots, they had so many things. They had the little daily spin where you can win a car or clothes or money or chips or RP. It was just cool. It gave the game this whole sense of like a whole fresh feel to it, just by adding simple things like that. And here we are, 2020, and the game is still relevant. The game is still well played by millions. So my question is like, what do we do with 6? Where do we go with that? Will 6 be able to live up to what 5 did? And if so, how? I would like to see multiple maps integrated where you can actually, those huge B-52 size airplanes, those huge commercial jets, you actually be able to utilize those in a realistic way. Because there's no point in using those jets and you're on one map. You're in California. There's no point of using those jets on that small map in Cali. If it was the entire, state, it could maybe make sense. But I would like for them to integrate maps, integrate the Liberty City and the Vice City and the San Andreas. Integrate, new major cities, maybe a Chicago, maybe a Texas or something like that. Maybe expand New York a little bit more. Integrate the cities where you can actually like experience the game in a different way. Everything should be interactive. I feel like you can get hours and hours and hours of gameplay out of a game if everything is interactive. You got this full city. Every door should be able to be open. Every building could be gone into, unless it's just locked by the owner or something like that. But if there's a window, it can be broken into. You know what I mean? They should have somewhat of a looting Maybe add like a looting aspect to it, not in a real aggressive kind of way, but add a looting effect to it. You could be able to take something off of somebody instead of having to go and always purchase it. You know what I mean? Even though money, cash was king, and that's one thing I did like about GTA 5. They literally made cash king. Like GTA 4, cash didn't matter. You had maybe 18. You had maybe 18 outfits. You couldn't buy cars. At least I don't think you could. And if you could, you lose them real easy. Money just really didn't matter unless it came to ammunition, and you just put a cheat code in for that. So they dialed back on the availability of the cheat codes until later, and they just made cash king. Even with the stock market, they knew guys would be able to kind of manipulate that, so they just cut off the stock market on GTA Online altogether. It's never been available. I think it's still not available. So GTA 5, they actually made cash king, and I like that. So with adding something like that, like a looting aspect to it, it will dial back on that a bit. But it would be small things that wouldn't really matter. Things that you wouldn't necessarily look at and be like, oh, I gained a whole advantage by just looting instead of buying this, even though it's like $2 or $3, something like that. I feel like banks and things like that should be able to be robbed in multiple ways, as long as you can figure out how. As long as you can develop a plan, get a team together, and actually solidify a plan and study patterns, study routes, stuff like that, instead of having to set it up as a heist. You know what I mean? I feel like, what else could they improve? Customizing your homes. I feel like you should be able to make your living space a little more you, allowing you to choose from a wide variety of colors, for a wide variety of things. Like, instead of buying a house and it's cookie cutter with all the furniture and everything laid out, you buy a base home and there's like furniture stores that you can purchase furniture at. There's decor stores where you can go and buy decor for your crib. You can customize things, customize your clothes. Saints Row got that so right. Saints Row was a game that was like the very intense version of Grand Theft Auto. And to me, it got it so right when it came to like customizing things that belong to you. Upgrading your weapons and things like that on San Andreas was so fun and just wacky, and it didn't take itself too serious. And I think that's why it was just such a fun game. It was so relaxing to play it because you knew it didn't take itself serious, and it was just over the top, the action and the blood and just the attitude, the dialogue. It was just completely over the top, and I just enjoyed it for that very reason. And it did a lot of things right. I think if it would have taken itself just a little bit more seriously and maybe worked on the graphics and the physics, it could have definitely been a contender. I don't know if it would have had the depth and the reach and appeal that GTA has been able to keep up, to where you can have a 2013 game being played relevantly, still to this day in 2020. But it definitely could have held up a lot better and delivered a lot better. That would be something that I would be interested in seeing, is them revamp the Saints Row series. I think it's THQ was over that. THQ and, is it Volcom or Viacom? I don't know. But GTA 6 would definitely have to pull out all the stops. And I can't wait, but at the same time, it's just like, man, I really hope this doesn't be disappointing. You know what I mean? Because where do you go? What do you do? It's going to be rough. Because they did so many things right with GTA 5. From the open world to having everything seem so lively and so full. Having two, contrasting types of environments on this one map. When you go to the countryside, and it actually just feels like the country. It doesn't feel like you just put dirt and trees and, I'm walking in the same area. It's just a bunch of dirt and trees that's being loaded up. It actually feels like you're in the country, from the roads and how dirty your car gets, to the animals and the wildlife, to the people that are there, the accents, that how drastically different the accents get, to the terrain and the mountains and just the beautiful skies at night and how clear everything looks. It's just a wide open game. It's one of those games that you can, if you're kind of person like me, sometimes I just want to take the scenic route and with some things. So I'll get a taxi cab and just like ride around the city, or I'll actually get a bike and like ride a bicycle, around the city and just kind of explore things that I'm normally just driving past 100 miles per hour. And take time to kind of explore the city, actually go to the beach and like look at the water and see like how they actually animated all this and walk along the beach. Like, I'm one of those guys. I'll play the game and do all the main and popular things on the game, but sometimes I like to step back and just kind of like chill. And yeah, man, it's just one of those games. They did an excellent job at just being as well rounded as they possibly could be with one game. And it really holds up, and it just makes me proud of that series, but at the same time worrisome for what's to come. Like, what is 6 honestly going to do? Where are we going to go? Nobody knows. Guys, it's been 37 minutes into this podcast. I'm going to go ahead and call this a day. I appreciate you guys dropping by, hanging out with me, and just kind of listening to me gripe and complain, and also give praise to the GTA series. Excellent series. It's definitely been a cultural thing. Something that I have fond, childhood memories playing, and even some memories, in my adult life. Excellent game, and I just can't wait to see what they do with their 6th installment. I appreciate you guys dropping by. You guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Share the channel with your friends. Let them know about the podcast. I'll link my the Anchor link in the description. We're now on Anchor. We're on Breaker. And I'm trying to get us on Apple Podcasts. And we're also on Spotify as well. So look us up, man. Come check us out. Tell your friends about us. And yeah, come on, hang out with us sometime. That is it, guys. I will catch you guys later. Peace.